And again, the reason for the competition caution was the fact that we had rain throughout much of the weekend. There was not a lot of rubber on the racetrack. And when a track is green, it's almost like a cheese grater grinding off the tires. And, Andy, that creates a serious problem for anyone trying to run aggressively.
Yeah, it is. This track's been ground with a diamond grinder, so you got grooves, little grooves in here. So it's really challenging for these Goodyear tires.
Well, right now, Sorensen's led every single lap, and Dale Earnhardt Jr. right behind him. They're running almost identical lap speeds. But I tell you what, Kevin Harvick, hard into the wall. 66 car.
That is Jeff Green. He had been on and off pit road just a few minutes ago because he had brushed the wall earlier.
Right rear tire.
And you heard him say a right rear tire. He had actually come on the pit road.
The right rear looks like it might be up.
Yeah, it's contact with the wall. And he had actually come down pit road earlier, Andy, I guess, and they...
To the garage.
Yeah, right now you take a look at it.
The right rear tire is soft.
See the right rear tire is flat on it right now. So he called it correctly. He got down in the corner, lost the right rear. But you got to believe that maybe a piece of metal cut the tire down, Andy, from brushing that wall.
Yeah, that's the thing that happens when you make contact with that wall. A lot of times you'll get some metal hanging there that'll grab that tire and blow it out. Nothing you can do when that happens either. You can see he's just along for the ride right here.
You know, his problem started earlier. Hit pit road with brushing the wall. Got a penalty. Went back out in the racetrack and had this problem right now. So I tell you what, this is one of the greatest racetracks in the country. Everybody puts their heart and soul in here, but it's going to end for him today.
Yeah, it started out bad and then got worse.
Yeah, not a good day for Jeff Green there in the 66 car. 2 pit stops and pretty heavily damaged Chevy Monte Carlo. Well, they'll line up behind the pace car, and they were going to have a competition yellow at lap 15, but this one as a result of caution. Out front for the first time today, as the pace car pulls away, we will listen in to the spotters and the drivers as we go full throttle.
Clear by 2. Clear all around. Clear by 4 behind you, Joe. Not too bad. There's people in front of us that are going for the net. So just keep out there. You're going fine. Good exit there. Clear by 2.
No pressure from behind.
Get back in your rhythm. Go get him. Still there. Still there. Got one more coming. Still there. Still there. Still there.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. looking to the inside, thinks better of it and stays in line.
I'll tell you right now, Dale Earnhardt Jr. is giving Stewart all he can take. Inside for the pass right now. It looks like he's got the position getting down into turn 1.
Okay, you see that? Oh, here.
Cars spinning. That's the 12 car of Ryan Newman. Spins around, heavy contact.
Right, we're rolling. Heading down pit road.
And caution comes out for the second time today here on lap number 20.
A lot of people predicted Newman that maybe the guy to win this race because he ran so good at Pocono, a track so close to Indianapolis, but he was perfect in practice. So we don't know what's going wrong here.
He's been really struggling with that car from the start of the race. I don't know what caused that accident right there, but he's been struggling.
Yesterday in practice, that car looked really good. In the day, it just started going backwards. You know, Andy, this track started rubbering up quicker than these guys thought.
Yeah, this track's changing a lot because we didn't have this kind of sun on the racetrack when we were practicing.
Them 4 I know. We'll meet you in the garage, bud.
Yeah, these guys are going to have to go to the garage and do quite a bit of work to get this car back out.
As I got to tell you, these soft walls on these racetracks right now are just a heaven sent. Newman's got the left side of that car toward really big time. And NASCAR and Tony George, who owns this racetrack, invented these soft walls. And these drivers are loving it right now with impacts like that.
Caution flag a moment ago. The 12 car of Ryan Newman spins around. There is contact in this cloud of smoke here in the corner.
See, his driver's side first, too. And that's kind of like we saw J.J. Yaley in practice in the 18 car hit very similar to this. And, boy, I tell you, that really hurts when you hit the wall like that.
Nice job by Carl Edwards to make the miss here.
He's up high. He's up high. He's still up high. He's still up high. He's coming down. Right on the apron now. Right on the apron. Come on by there, buddy. Nice job. You know, roll it up.
Now, Ryan Newman was very close to being in the top 12 in the chase. He was in 13th spot, but just 30 points behind Dale Earnhardt Jr. And this could be a huge blow as this traffic now snaking their way around some of the debris on the racetrack.
Yeah, they just changed tires. They don't want to have to come back and look at all this debris everywhere. So these guys are going to be really picking their way through here. Wouldn't be surprised to see somebody get a flat tire out of that.
Well, safety crews are on the track. Caution out for the second time today. We'll take a break and come back with a restart. Dale Earnhardt Jr., the leader at the Allstate 400.
And Mark Martin started 13th, making his move on up, gained 5 positions. He's currently in 8th. Now, he came over the radio after that first pit stop and said, guys, I think my second gear is broken. So right now, he only has first, third, and fourth. Now, where that will affect him is when he exits pit road and on restarts. They're hoping not to use that first gear because they said, the team told me, it eventually will go. Tire wear was good after that stop, but right now he says that right rear feels like it's wearing just a bit. Alan?
Jimmie Johnson started 19th. He's up to the 9th spot now, the defending winner of this race. Just radioed his crew, said the adjustment they made on the last pit stop helped him in the corners exactly where he needed it to. Right now the back end is sliding a little bit on that 48 car. And rounding out the top 10 will be Kyle Busch in the 5 car for Hendrick Motorsports. He started 18th. He's moved up to 10th place, and there's trouble on the track.
Tony Reigns against the wall, gets tagged in the door in the right front of that car. Also spinning is Robbie Gordon in the car number 7. And the heavily...
Who was that, Wood?
The 9 car got right inside of him, turned him around.
And this is Casey Kane's Dodge, who got a side-on impact with directly the nose of the car.
It looks like the 96 car lost it, and they said the 9 car got in the side of him. The 9 car, Casey Kane, got in the side of him after he was sideways in the middle of the racetrack. So they killed both cars here. Big damage on them.
Now here's what happened up in the turn a moment ago. The 96 car. Now watch Casey Kane and the 96 side by side.
Yeah, just two guys, just not quite enough room between them.
Yeah.
Don't really know who to put the blame on, but boy, this is bad for Casey Kane. These guys are trying to just get something going here and just not been able to do it this year.
I tell you what, in our earlier rear play, it looks like the 9 just drilled him in the door, but coming back at the replay, you can see what happened. The aero loose kicked in, and both cars slid up in each other. That's
It's just hard to race down in the corner side by side at this track. It's just real narrow getting down in there, the groove is.
All right, from the Allstate onboard camera, Casey Kane comes back across and just right in the right front fender.
Just finishes them both off right there. They were both already torn up, but that just finished them off.
Let's take one more look angle of this right here as they get in a corner. 96 is already wrecked. He's coming across the track, and boom, Kane's got nowhere to go. But before that, Casey went inside and got aero loose and slid up in the side of the 96. It looks like Casey started this wreck.
Well, this will count now as a competition yellow, and you will be allowed to take fuel. The damaged cars now limping down pit road will be headed back to the garage area. As you guys said, Casey Kane hoping to be able to finally get a top 10, being fairly conservative early on here after a good qualifying run. He heads to the garage, and behind him, Tony Reigns. Green flag waves again as Dale Earnhardt Jr. leads Tony Stewart, Juan Pablo Montoya, and Jeff Gordon down to turn 1. Here's the 48 car. Watch him. That's Jimmie Johnson with the 07 now making a move. That's Clint Boyer. And you heard in the pre-race show they made an engine change and he had to start shotgun, which is dead last on the field. And he has done a nice job driving this car up toward the front.
Looks like the engine they put in there is pretty good too, because he was passing on the straightaway right there. Looks like he cleared Jimmie Johnson right there on the backstrip.
Right now it does look like Dale Jr. is having any problem whatsoever. I'm watching the lap times. He just ran almost 0.2 of a second faster than Tony Stewart right now. So it's really not worth messing with that air dam if it's going to cost you time in the pits.
I think where it'll really show up is if he happens to get back in traffic. I think it'll hurt him more than it is out front. He's got the advantage of that clean air pushing down on that nose right now, so it may not be hurting quite as much as that clean air is helping him.
Well, one driver who didn't want to be where he is right now, he was hoping to have a good day, but it all went away early. Right, Dave?
Yeah, that did for Casey Kahne. And after they got back to the garage area, you and Tony Reigns had a fairly extended conversation, shared your views with each other. I'm sure you didn't come to an agreement. What actually happened?
We were just, he came over to talk about it. I don't, my car was backwards as I was getting into the corner, and I was running low. So, I mean, I was told he entered on my right rear corner. Whether that happened or not, my car was backwards before I got there, so it was over. But just disappointing when you're going backwards that fast. It's, you know, that's what happens. I mean, if you have fast cars, you're not wrecking. When you have slow cars, things happen.
And just help me clarify, you were crashing or it was just way loose?
I was tight. The car wouldn't turn the whole time. That's why I was going backwards. And then it went way loose into that corner. And I think it's because he sucked up on my right rear, but that's just what I was told by my team or whatever. So I don't know. I'm not sure what happened. I was looking forward. Next thing I knew, I was in the wall.
All right, big trouble on the racetrack, guys. Big crash here. Jimmy Johnson involved. The 48 car spins around. And the last year's winner involved.
Left rear flat. I don't think I have too much damage.
He's got a little more damage than he knows. That left front fender's tore up pretty bad. And here's Ricky Rudd with the right front fender blown off of his car.
The 88 car involved.
Jamie McMurray, big damage too.
Both the front and rear of the 26 car. McMurray's, he tries to get on the pit road.
We're going to have to go to the garage, guys.
This track is so narrow, when something happens up there, it's hard to avoid it.
I tell you, there's debris all over the racetrack too when that accident happened, and these guys are running over this stuff, blowing tires and tearing up. And like you said, Andy, it's not like a regular track, it's narrow. Jamie McMurray looks like he get back on the track, but after a pit stop or two. Now Jimmy Johnson's car, they're going to work on that, and I think they can get it back and stay working it throughout the rest of the race.
The 10 car involved, that's Scott Riggs as he gets turned from behind. The 21 car, that's Bill Elliott. They were all stacked up almost in a single file.
Almost like a domino effect here. All these guys are running so close together. Almost three wide coming off the corner. Just not enough room. All of them so close, that's why they all get in the red.
I want to take another look at this replay.
Tears up another car.
Trying to back it way down middle of 1 and 2. Big wreck. Big wreck. Back it down, wave them off. They're still checked up around here. Just pick your way through there. Take your time, pick your way through there. A lot of debris. Clear high right there. Clear high all the way to the racetrack. Come on through there.
Boy, Elliott Sadler's spotter being able to weave him and talk him through all that debris on the racetrack.
I'm going to take one more look at this replay here shortly, getting into turn 3, and let's see what happens to this again. See the 48 car trying to make it to pit road right now. Got the left front. He's trying not to tear the fender off, Andy.
A chain reaction crash involving 5 cars. We'll update who the cars are, how much damage, and what happened to last year's winner here as he tries to make it on the pit road. Back in a moment. For you Jimmy Johnson fans, a year ago Johnson was back as far as 40th early in this race, and he went on to win it. So Jimmy, who is awfully good here, and Andy, you mentioned that fender isn't going to hurt him at all. If anything, it may help him.
Yeah, he's not out of it by any means, but he's going to have a race on his hands. He's got Martin Truex Jr. that's a lap down, Ricky Rudd. All these guys are going to be fighting for this lucky dog.
Green flag waves once again. Earnhardt Jr. takes them down into turn 1. Tony Stewart, Jeff Gordon, and Juan Pablo Montoya.
See the 1 car fighting these guys trying to get this lap back. Jimmy Johnson wasn't able to line up on the inside of that front row because he pitted without the pit road being open, so they make him start at the tail end of the longest line.
Look up in the middle of that straightaway, the 22 car, the Caterpillar car. That is a Toyota Camry. And Toyota got its very first win in NASCAR Busch Series competition last night at O'Reilly Raceway Park. Jason Leffler, first win for Toyota in the 22nd race they were in. Could Toyota be a factor today, guys?
Well, it definitely could. Toyota's got a strong engine package, and Bill Davis Racing with that 22 car, they're really starting to get their act together, and it looks real good.
Yeah, the only problem is they don't have many numbers of cars in the race, so their chances are not as good as they would be if they had about 3 or 4 more of those cars in the race. Here's Jeff Gordon making a pass on Martin Truex, the lap car.
Take a look at Tony Stewart right underneath Dale Jr. right now. Got him loose. Junior's up the racetrack and Stewart's underneath. He should have the track position, getting down into turn 3, and he does.
Now, you said he got him loose. There was no contact. Was this all aero loose we're talking about?
Sure, it was all aero loose. You saw Tony Stewart get up behind the 8 car of Dale Earnhardt Jr. He wiggled a little bit. He went up the racetrack. Dale did. He shot underneath him. That's a classic case of aero loose, and you can manage that. Crash.
Another crash on the racetrack. 4 cars involved. Scott Riggs tries to avoid it. 25 of Casey Mears involved. The National Guard Chevrolet, another one of the Rick Hendry cars.
Another one of Ray Evernham's cars involved here, too. This is just a real disappointing for him. I know the 19, Elliott Sadler, is involved in this.
So caution flies on lap 54. Here is
Johnny Sauter in the 70.
Have a junkyard down there, huh?
Tell you what, they've took out a lot of cars right now. And talking about Evernham a little bit, his 2 cars brought back last year's nose selection to try to get these teams back on track. And it appeared like it was working a little bit, but right now, they're really not going to know because they don't have anything to bring back home. You're looking at last year's Charger nose in that 19 car. Let's take a look at this replay.
Looks almost the same as the last wreck we saw. These 2 cars just getting together. Just not enough room for these other guys.
Guys, we talked earlier in our broadcast about you need to get single file down into turn 1 and into turn 3, and they're not completing these passes as they get in the corner. And you can see the 25 car of Casey Mears gets aero loose and gets up into the side of Johnny Sauter.
Just so hard to pass getting in the corner at this racetrack. You really have to start that pass off the corner and try to clear them on the straightaway.
now from the onboard camera for Elliott Sadler, the Allstate onboard. Let's listen.
Clear, clear, all clear by 2. Picking up here. Come on the low side. Come on the low side. All right, get going when you can, man. Get going when you can. Get going when you can. 45 ran over us right there.
Guys, from a driver's perspective, getting down into turn 3, when you see him wrecking it in front of you, you're just to change reactions. Take a look at this. They're wrecking it in front of you. He just tries to slow up. The 19 car does, and he just can't. Gets high in the racetrack. Elliott Sadler does, and that wreck happens. But it's all about aero loose getting in the corner.
We might mention that the 45 car, Kyle Petty, also involved in this incident. As you see the damage repair on Elliott Sadler. But early on here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, it's been all Budweiser Chevrolet. Dale Earnhardt Jr. has led twice for 33 laps. Back in just a moment. What a great camera shot. Those cars flashed by at 180 miles an hour, just inches from the grass. As Tony Stewart's car, early on he was complaining the car would not turn. They've adjusted and adjusted and adjusted. He went sailing by Dale Earnhardt Jr. for the second spot. Now we've got some smoke trailing off the damaged left front fender of the 48 car of Jimmy Johnson.
Yeah, they're going to have to take a look at that right now. There might be the air dam and it's going to grind itself off, or it could be a left front tire rubbing the fender. And if that's the case, you're going to have to hit pit road again.
There's not enough, looks like not enough bracing in that left front fender. The air's pushed it back against the tire. We can see it looked pretty good when he was in the pits, and so all that stuff, that bare bond they put on is blown off, and they don't have enough support. That thing's blowing in against the tire. They're going to have to work on it some more.
Well, Andy, as we're saying, it looks like the smoke is starting to stop now in the 48 car. It might have rubbed itself enough clearance, but he's got the bottom of the left front air dam kicked out pretty good, which gives you a lot of downforce. But a little farther up, it's in, which loses downforce. So it might balance itself out.
As long as it doesn't blow this tire out, it'll be okay until they can get in there and work on it a little bit more. We don't see any smoke right now. So well, we do it now. Now we see some smoke. So he may have to get this looked at.
Side by side, and we see some parts and pieces coming off there, and obviously
God, we just cut a tire and hit the wall pretty hard.
And you just said that as long as it doesn't blow this tire out, he may have a shot. But no, he just cut right into it and just slammed across the wall. And the points.
Okay, Jimmy?
Yeah, this is a hard lick for Jimmy. He had a hard lick 2 weeks ago at Chicago. He jumps right out. That's a good sign.
Jimmy Johnson, 7th in the point standings. He is the reigning NASCAR Nextel Cup champion. He gets out of the car, but the car is ablaze here, and here come the safety crew.
Yeah, I tell you, it's a really smart decision on Jimmy Johnson. He knew the car was on fire. He jumped out. But guys, this is the problem you have when the pit crew doesn't fix the car the way it needed to be fixed. You know, they did the best job they possibly could. You take a look at his wife. She's calm. She knows her husband's out of the car. That's something, as a wife, it's got to be killing you. You're really concerned. But Jimmy looks good right now. He's took a big hit in the points, but I'm sure he's still going to be in the top 12, even though he's had this wreck.
And he's okay. I'm not sure that his wife Chandra is okay, because she has to sit and watch this and hear the reports on the radio when they ask him, are you okay, are you okay? What they didn't realize was he was already out of the car and couldn't respond to them on the radio. Now watch the middle of the screen coming down the back straightaway, the 48 of Jimmy Johnson.
Yeah, we didn't see any smoke till we got to the end of the straightaway. It just instantly cuts this tire. You see it blow out and all the pieces of rubber start flying everywhere. No control of this, and he just has to lock it down and ride it to the fence.
Folks, let me tell you the bad part about this. That tire blew out at the highest part of speed at the racetrack, close to 207 miles per hour. He blows that left front off, head on in the wall, and
it's just winning that down while he was still wrecking right there. It's up against the wall.
Oh, that's a hard hit. Again, thank gosh for the soft wall, Jerry. We've had 3 bad wrecks. Ryan Newman, J.J. Yelly in practice, and now Jimmy Johnson this hard. And yes, and he said, you saw the window net come down. Good indication he's okay.
The safer barriers debuted here in 2002. They updated them in 2005. Onboard camera from Jeff Burton looking up. Oh my heavens, he says, when you're a driver,
all clear.
When you're a driver, you see that happen in front of you, and you got to just curl up in the seat.
Jerry, you really feel bad for somebody when he hit that hard, because like I said again, I'm going to tell you one more time, as they're making pit stops right now, hard hit over 200 when he crashed.
And so Kyle Busch going to try and take advantage of that lucky break when they had the miscalculation. The caution going to bail him back out of it. It'll be a 4-tire change. See the wrench in the right rear side. Going to try and make a track bar adjustment to help him with the handling of the car. The front end grip is what's lacking on this 5 machine. By the way, they're also starting to do their mouth calculations from here to the finish on fuel to see how far they can go and if they can do it on one more stop.
All right, great pit work down there. Thanks a lot, Alan Bestwick, covering the pit stop and get it. Whoa, some contact on pit road. A couple of cars coming out. The 07 and the 2 car nearly had door-to-door contact exiting the pits.
Jerry, this is one of the narrowest pit roads. Oh my gosh, look at the whole back end of the 2 car. Now, Andy, I remember Charlotte a couple years ago when Jeff Gordon lost his rear bumper. His car actually ran faster. This isn't a bad thing, I don't think.
Yeah, I knew where you were going with this. This could actually be an aerodynamic advantage to lose that tail panel. But I'm sure he didn't want to lose it this way.
Thanks, NASCAR. Appreciate it. We look really good right now.
Here's Clint Boyer leaving the 2 car coming in, and he got from the front end from the back, got a sandwich from the 33.
Scott Wimmer got the worst of this. You can see his right front tires aimed the wrong way. He got into that concrete wall trying to avoid this, and looks like he got the worst of this.
Yeah, he's got the front of his car. Just watch this, Andy. Oh, I'm telling you what, that is a hard hit. That's a hard hit.
That's been some tie rods and some of the front suspension. They'll have to work on that.
Jerry, when you saw that right front tire go up in the wall and stop, and when a tire stops and that car is still going forward, you know it's tweaked a lot of the suspension, bent a lot of the components. So something that small that he had no idea was going to happen could put him out of this race.